Hello, my name's Lee W. Mowen, and this is my upcoming sports broadcast. Just to let you know a little bit about myself, I am a broadcaster, announcer, sports writer, voiceover guy. Well, trying to be a voiceover guy, let's be honest. I've been a lifelong Daytonian, and Cincinnati is my second home, and that's what my sports podcast is going to feature. What is it about? Well, I pretty much gave the game away, saying it's about Dayton, Ohio sports, it's about Cincinnati, Ohio sports, it's about everything in between, and I want to make sure that every team gets its fair share of coverage. Why am I doing this podcast, you might ask? In this age where it seems like everyone has a podcast, I feel I need to throw my hat into the ring. And I want to prove to you that I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to Cincinnati and Dayton sports. And I feel that Dayton sports need a little bit of a sharing, if you will. For example, as of tonight, July 14th, 2017, yes, I had to look at my laptop to make sure that's the date it was, the Dayton Dynamo have a very crucial game that they are watching. It is FC Buffalo hosting AFC Cleveland, and if FC Buffalo draws or wins against AFC Cleveland, then the Dayton Dynamo are in the NPSL playoffs. Big deal, especially with the move over to downtown Dayton's Roger Glass Stadium, a fantastic field, and if you're not watching this after Saturday the 15th of July 2017, you should come down for the last home match of the regular season for the Dynamo at Roger Glass Stadium, downtown Dayton. Tickets start at $5, and they go up to $15. You get a fancy coupon, or a fancy ticket even, with a QR code. You scan it, there's the menu on your phone, you order what you want, you get it right to your seat. The Dayton Dynamo are really close in getting into the playoffs, and this is a big game at hand. And the Dayton Dynamo, some of the finest young players you can watch on the pitch. A lot of college soccer players from the University of Dayton, Wright State University, Wittenberg University, and Springfield. They make up this 2017 Dayton Dynamo squad, and I feel that they deserve a shout-out. And this is what my podcast is about, Cincinnati and Dayton teams. This is from a broadcaster / announcer / writer / whatever I want to be this week. I care a lot about Cincinnati and Dayton sports. I care a lot about Cincinnati and Dayton, full stop. That's why I'm bringing the podcast to you, the listener. So I talked a little bit about what the podcast is about, my plans. Sky's the limit. I feel with a successful podcast about Dayton sports and Cincinnati sports, I feel like if I get the right audience, if I push myself out there, I feel like this could be a very successful thing for myself and the area, perhaps. Just to go over my background, I've been broadcasting since 2006 in college. Well, not all that time in college, of course. But I've been voice of a couple hockey teams, currently a couple high schools in Centerville, Ohio, that I'm the voice of. I'm the play-by-play announcer of the Dayton Dynamo, and also tomorrow the fill-in PA announcer. Also, there's no broadcast stream, so that's why I said come on down to CJ. That's where you want to be for the Dynamo match, and I'll be doing the PA. I am also the PA announcer / fill-in broadcaster / fill-in guy for a couple sports at the University of Dayton and Wright State University, namely soccer coming up just a couple weeks away. In fact, Dayton Flyers women's soccer starts the second week in August at home with two matches. Tuesday the 8th against Burlington County College, I had to remember the name off the top of my head, and that Friday, which I believe is the 11th, against the Miami University Redhawks, a good UD-MU battle there at Beaujean Field. That's where my passion is. I love this area, I love the sports here, and I love the people that make up our sporting scene. Now the name. You notice I haven't given a name yet because this is the issue I've been having. I ran a Twitter poll, I ran a Facebook poll, and I just kept going back on it, thinking this name is too generic. So I believe it was a Twitter user by the handle The Ohio Homer, which is a good follow, by the way, if you like Ohio sports. He gave me the idea, something that connects Cincinnati and Dayton. And I really hope I'm watching the webcam correctly. But something that connects Cincinnati and Dayton. And I thought a little bit about it. I didn't want to go like I-75, boom! I didn't like it. So what I ended up picking is the following. And if I get enough people really hating it, I might change it back to my original idea. That sounds really good for someone that wants to start up this podcast, I know. But the name I have picked, dramatic roll. Also, see, I have a Wright State shirt with the original Rowdy Raider on it. You know that I like sports. The name of the podcast, as I continue to stall for time, The Gem on the Queen's Crown. Just to explain the name, Gem City in Dayton, which could be, you know, the gem. Here's a picture of a gem. Bing! Also, rumored to be a name of a famous racehorse in Dayton, Ohio. Not sure if that's true, but it's mostly just, you know, Gem City, the gem. And Cincinnati is the Queen City. Well, one of them, depending on who you ask, around the eastern part of the United States. So the Queen City and the Gem City on top, the crown being Cincinnati, the gem being Dayton. I'm glad I illustrated what the crown and the gem look like, but it's called The Gem on the Queen's Crown. That's the name I'm sticking with for the time being, unless everyone threatens to burn down a village or something for me to change it. The original one was first Total Dayton Sports, but then I thought, if I'm not going to focus all my time on Dayton sports, if I'm going to talk a little bit about Cincinnati, involve Cincinnati, so it turned out to be Total Cin-Day Sports. But then it was like, too generic, The Gem on the Queen's Crown it is. So here's to no name changes. Well, if I have to change it, once, max. So what's the schedule going to be like, Lee? Haven't quite figured that out yet, but after this Periscope stream, / Twitter live stream, / episode I'm recording on Audacity and the microphone underneath that I'm pointing at, I promise, I'm going to start working my way around, trying to pick up some guests, trying to think, what do I want to talk about this week, and figure out what format do I want to do. Do I want to do it as a sports show? Like go weekly, talk about the scores and everything? Do I want to do it as, for every episode, it's a theme about this and nothing else? I haven't quite figured that out yet. So, The Gem on the Queen's Crown is my new podcast that I'm bringing up to the world, and I certainly hope you'll enjoy it. And I certainly hope that it's a project I stick with for the time being. So, in case you have any suggestions, any comments, or any feedback, give me a follow on social media. It's The Lee W. Mowen, TheLeeWMowen, primarily on Twitter. Also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and the various social media sites I can't think of at the moment. Also, my website, theleewmowen.com. Certainly hope I start writing again soon. It's got all my career stats, which, by the way, I did the math today. And after tomorrow's match from Roger Glass Stadium, I will have 1,112 games that I have done either as the play-by-play voice or the public address announcer. Big deal. I never thought I'd get to 1,000, let alone, 1,112, to be that precise. Am I going to do Periscope for every podcast? No. If it's a special event, if I get a chance to do a podcast via remote, maybe. But since this was the premiere / teaser / spoiler, whatever you want to call it, I figured, do it from my own home and show you I like Dayton sports, you see. In case the camera's not well enough to pick it up, it is my webcam and my broadcasting laptop after all. Where's my finger? There's my finger. Love you to Dayton and back. That's from Elder Beerman. I think it was like $15 in the Dayton area stores. A banner of Wright State University and the Federal Hockey League Champions banner from the Dayton Demons. which I should have wore the ring now that I think about it, but I didn't, from the 2014 playoffs. Very big year, and definitely something that I like talking about, too. So, I guess that's it. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Eventually, I might start my own podcast where I talk about my growth as a broadcaster / announcer / person. But I don't know if anyone would be interested in that, so that's not my primary concern at the moment. The Gem on the Queen's Crown, my sports podcast talking about Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio sports. Look forward to the feedback. Look forward to making the very first episode come to life. And it'll happen soon. I promise. In fact, I'm going to start episode 1 right now. Thanks, everyone, for joining me on Periscope. Hope you have a lovely Friday evening. Hope to see you at Roger Glass Stadium tomorrow, which is July 15th, 2017, 6:30. Dayton Dynamo hosting Fort Wayne Sport Club. 6:30, gates open about an hour early, and it will be a good time. This is Lee W. Mowen signing off and shutting up from Twitter Live / Periscope / The World. Episode 1 coming out soon of The Gem on the Queen's Crown. Bye.